Hello and welcome to my first video. My name is Katie. I go by Terrierlanding on Instagram and Ravelry. My channel name is Notes from the Trail. That comes from Trail County where I live in rural North Dakota. I have two dogs. Jameson is a Boston Terrier and Angus is a Scottie. And you may or may not hear them in the background because they're my audience. And this channel is going to be about my creative pursuits, mostly within fiber arts. So I don't know how often I intend to film videos. I tend to recently work on a project straight to start to finish, and even large ones. I don't really do a rotation like other people do, just because I can't stick to a structure like that, I guess. But I've kind of been doing some things differently this month, where I'm trying to get a variety of projects worked on. So maybe I'll film as they pile up. So I mostly have been knitting and cross-stitching since the 1st of July, and like I said, recording what I've been working on, which I had not been doing for several months. So we'll just start from here. I probably won't, unless there's demand for it, share like new stash. Probably just talk about things that are upcoming that I know I'm going to be starting or continuing to work on, because I do have a lot of whips. Actually, before we get into projects, one thing that I'm trying to do this year is cut down the number of whips I have. I know I have over 20 knitting and a couple crochet projects, and those are easier to track because of Ravelry. And I really would like to have less than 5 whips for yarn anyway. I have a lot of sewing and quilting and quite a few cross stitch. Well, I'm trying a new thing this last half of the year where I'm going to try to touch every project, every whip. I know I'm not going to be able to finish them all because some of them are really big and just impossible, and I don't want to stop myself from starting anything new, because anytime I put a restriction on myself like that, I go crazy in the form of like starting everything and losing complete interest in what I want to be working on instead. Doesn't make any sense, but it is what it is. So I want to try to touch all of my whips by the end of the year, and that could be working on them for half an hour once. I mean, I'm not even expecting I'm going to finish them. Some of them are pretty close to being finished. So I need to compile that list, which is easier said than done, because, you know, I'd rather spend time actually working on things. So anyway, that is one goal I have. And yeah, I'm trying to track, and I'm writing goals for the week of where I want to get progress-wise. And I'm working on a Monday through Sunday week because, well, the weekends are free to do a lot more because I have more free time. Yeah, let's get started. We'll start with my knitting. I have been working on 2 knitting projects. One thing I am doing this summer is Camp Loopy, which is hosted by the Loopy U out of Colorado. And it's a summer event that they run usually June, July, and August. And they give you parameters for a project. You have to purchase the materials from them. You get points. It's a lot of fun. I took a few years off of it, but I decided to join again this year. So my project for this month is a sweater, and I just realized I didn't grab what it looks like. Well, I have it on my tablet, so but I am working on the color work yoke. Just making sure didn't drop any stitches here. And it's all twisted up because it's 2 colors. So yeah, I don't know how easy this is going to be to see. So I am about halfway down the yoke, and once I get past here, it's just a little bit of knitting before I split off the sleeves. If you are familiar with sweater construction, this is a top down, this is the neckline, so, and it's seamless, meaning that it's not done in pieces and then sewn together at the end. So yeah, my goal for the week on this project had been to finish this color work, but I have about 14 rounds of it left, I believe. So I don't know if I'm going to get it done tonight, but that's fine. I taught myself how to knit color work with both strands in one hand, which speeds things up a lot, especially when you go alternate one by one. Hopefully you can see that. So it's still a lot of stitches and a lot of time. So we'll see if I can do 14 rounds with what's left of today. So that aside, and that is by called the Vanish Sweater, excuse me, by Heidi Mays, who is the Velvet Acorn on Ravelry, and I believe that is her Instagram handle as well. And it is, so far I like it. It's been a while since I've knit a sweater, so a lot to remember. And then, oh, this is where I'm going to forget things, so if you ever have questions on materials I may or may not be able to tell you. I am knitting that sweater in Leading Men Fiber Arts, Showstopper. The main color is Into the Woods, and the green is Shadows in the Trees. So I did grab those. So that is what I'm doing for that one. Then the other knitting project I'm working on is a knit along by Agnes Kutas, Kutas, I probably am butchering that, called Hopes and Dreams. And the thing with this one was it's free if you finish the first clue by July 25th. So she gave everyone a month, is giving everyone a month. I finished the first clue earlier today, so it's hard to stretch on this small, shorter cord, but it's pretty much this cable, twisted cable all around. And I submitted my photo to get the rest of the pattern sent to me. This is being knit in a yarn from Sundara, her fingering merino called Kyoto in the Fall, and it is really gorgeous in person. And it reads red more when it's knit, so that is how this knits up. I am enjoying it, though I'm really glad to be done with the cables on this, because it was the same thing for a while. So when I get that, I can finish it, and that was my goal on this project for the week, was to finish the clue, or the first part. So that goal got finished. So that is all that I've worked on for yarn related projects this week. That is probably all I'll work on for the next week. Well, for sure Camp My Sweater. I have to have that done by the end of the month. See, until I'm done with Hopes and Dreams, I won't probably add in another one. I've been working on 4 to 5 projects a day. So, yeah, I don't think I need more knitting. So, next we can go on to cross stitch. I did finish a project, so we'll start with that. This is called Autumn Spice by Little House Needleworks. It came as one of the thread packs with the classic colorwork colors, and then the pattern was included. And this is done on one of those uneven weaves that we all love. But I actually like that it made it shorter than it was charted for, if it was on an even weave. And I can't remember if I maybe dyed this fabric with black walnut. Can't remember, or if this is how it was, but that's done. I will be fully finishing that probably this upcoming week when I do some sewing. So that was a quick little project, and I worked on that mostly just in the morning before I go to work. I have about a half hour to an hour every morning, and I do small stitching, small projects, just to kind of get that out of the way. And then I did actually finish that up on the long weekend when I was off work, but that's because it was a goal. Also for finishes, kind of a sort, I am stitching the Advent animals that Brooks Books put out for free, and I believe they're still available on her website. I finished Katie Kitty. I previously had Peter Polar Bear, Mary Mouse, and Duncan Dog already done. So I just did her this past week. I am doing that with all the Christmas and July related stitch alongs, so like the Jolly July that Fat Quarter Shop is doing, and then Christmas in July. And I'm sorry, I forget your handle. Is it Diana? It is Kismet, I think is what it fully is. My phone isn't near me, so otherwise I'd check. But that is that finish, and I got a start on Hattie Hedgehog. She looks like this. And she'll be another little quick stitch. I'm only working on this like an hour a day at most. And did I say I wanted to get 4 done this month? I would like to get this project done this year before Christmas, but we'll see. I'm doing them all in one. I have noted that this is a 36 count linen, and it's the polka dot, and I decided to add in this green border just this week to give it something different between the boxes and kind of join it all together. So that one hopefully will be one I stick with finally, because it was almost a year since I touched it, so it's about time. So my goal on that was to finish the Katie Kitty block, so that I did. What else did I work on that I haven't shown? I am one large project I'm working on. I actually decided to start 4 large projects, and I was going to rotate them, work on them one a week, and rotate. And I didn't last very long on that, which is why I don't do rotations. 3 of them are Hands Across the Sea, and then the 4th is A Most Noble Pursuit. So I've been on this one 2 or 3 weeks now, and I'm still on this first block, which is pretty much full coverage, and I did think I could get it done in a week, just to be honest. It is like 80 by 120, so I actually thought I could do it, and I couldn't. So this is where I am on it. This is a 40 count mallow linen. So yeah, my goal is to finish the house by today, and then we'll see where I go from there on it. So yeah, that's, I think, doable. And then maybe I'll rotate once I actually finish that block. So that is all the whips I have had now we can talk about some upcoming projects. I am for cross stitch. My new morning project is the new ornament from Annie B's Folk Art, this series. I just got it yesterday in the mail, so this will be my new morning project. And I can't remember what fabric I'm stitching these on. One of them, somewhere it says. So if you're curious, I think it's a 28 something or other. So I'm doing that one, and I've finished stitching the other 7 previous ones. And I actually bought a backing material that echoes the plaid border. So I was going to start fully finishing those into ornaments, so I didn't have the whole full group of 14 to do at once. So that is something on my agenda. And then my other project is another sewing one. Also with Camp Loopy, they do a sewing project each month. They've kind of dialed back a little bit on it, and it's just like a sewing challenge. I did not do last month's because it was to knit an apron, I think. Or not knit, sew an apron. But this month is to sew, sew in our country's flag colors. So being American, red, white, and blue, I am going to make a long American flag pillow. And so I have this blue, red, I'm actually going to use this gold and white for the white stripes. And then I have wheat print backing for it. My goal on this was to actually get it sewn together and quilted today, but that is looking unlikely, so that goal will go to next week. So those are my projects, progress so far. Next time maybe I'll show other things I have finished but not fully finished for cross stitch. And I have some fully finished objects that I did not gather up that I recently finished with a cross stitching friend who came over to my house. So we had an afternoon of finishing. And I didn't ask her permission if I could tell who she is, so and we plan on doing that again. I also meet with a group in Fargo for, well, mostly cross stitchers, but some other embroidery forms. Yeah. So that is it for this video. Like I said, I'm not sure how often I will film. Probably just however often I get enough progress together. And if you have any questions, you certainly are free to ask. You can follow me on Instagram. I have a public account, so you don't need to wait to view what I'm working on. And I would like to connect with some new people on there as well. So yeah, that is it for today. Hope you have a fabulous week. We'll talk to you next time.